This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena, we have a key light turned on and pointed at my face so that you can enjoy it all the more. We have Emmy in the dojo. How you doing, little girl? She's asleep. It's a beautiful day to experience the 11th out of the 12 days of YORION. It seems like a cop-out, because it's got so many cards in common with so many YORION decks I've made before, but it's actually good. Mono White YORION. If you're in a meta that is all about creatures attacking faces, and not about the intricate, big brainy plays of Gandalf blue-white mages going back and forth, passing turn, hitting land drops, and staring each other down with their counter spells. If you are in a meta where counters don't really matter, and just throwing creatures on the battlefield is what it's all about, then you would rather have mono white, because the mana is better. The mana is more consistent, and you get a ton of lands that do stuff, like Radiant Fountain, which gains you more life and keeps you alive. Field of Ruin, which destroys Crawling Barrens, and Castle Locthwain. Crawling Barrens, which destroys players, and Castle Ardenvale, which destroys players trying to destroy you with Crawling Barrens. So the mono-white mana base also gets a Miria's Call, which makes 4/4 White Angels, which destroys everything from red mages to rogues. And then we get the rest of the deck, which the main thing that we miss is Omen of the Sea. Playing blue, giving you Omen is very nice. And the main thing we miss from black is Elspeth's Nightmare, which is a really good removal spell. In their place, we have Golden Egg, which does its best Omen of the Sea impression, assuming that you don't need Scries. And we have a combination of Giant Killer and Omen of the Sun to act like removal spells and keep the opponent from killing us. One really popular card that we're not running is Shatter the Sky. Shatter the Sky is a card I love, and I like a good board wipe. That should be a mystery to nobody, but I found it was pretty bad in this deck. I found it was pretty bad in the meta in general. In the control mirrors, the one who draws a bunch of board wipes usually loses because they're do-nothing cards. They don't actually affect the mirror in the YORION battles. Against Mono Red, they have things like Annex and Bonecrusher Giant, so you end up feeding them more cards, and a lot of their stuff is haste. Bonecrusher Giant gets him for 2 no matter what, so it doesn't really help you. And then when you look at it against Mono White, they have Selfless Savior. They really just punish you for playing Shatter the Sky. Overall, in the current meta, Shatter the Sky is not a very great card. So instead, we fight the board. We fight for control of the board with board plays of our own, and we use cards like Giant Killer to keep the opponent under wraps until we can play Ugin, which is a much better board wipe than Shatter the Sky, assuming you have the mana to cast it. Exiling every frickin' thing is pretty awesome. But wait, we have Glass Casket in the deck, CGB. That's a non-bow. With Ugin, you exile the casket, they get back their thing. 100% right. Give yourselves a gold star, big brain. You're going to have to use that big brain to manage the casket. What we often end up doing is flickering our own casket, releasing the creature a turn before Ugin comes down. So you got to take some risks. You also, by the way, don't have to always minus the Ugin. Sometimes plussing it helps you stabilize the board just enough on its own, especially with YORION blinking omens around. You don't always want to minus your Ugin, so something else to consider if you've never in your life thought about it before. All these cards should be mostly self-explanatory. You've seen me YORION all these cards before. The one that might be a surprise is Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern to give us just a little something against the Croxa decks, which can outgrind us, and the cycling decks, which just shoot us in the face with Zenith Flare. It's sad, really, but if you have one Lantern, that can turn off one Zenith Flare, and you can often gain enough life from flickering Omen of the Sun and activating Golden Egg and Maze Mind Tome to survive if you can get one good Soul Guide Lantern moment. That's all you really need. This deck is sweet, like so many YORION decks before it. I run out of ways to describe YORION decks, but I don't get tired of them. I know some people do. It's really easy to go into my comments and find complaints about this deck and that deck. But when it comes to complaining about the current standard, I'm becoming tone deaf, to be honest. It's a really good standard. There's a lot of different decks you can play. The issue right now, the reason some people are bored, is because we haven't had new cards since the middle of September. It's been a long time. The biggest shakeups to the format since then were a banning of Uro and then a banning of Omnath. But a lot of things just haven't changed. And some of you will say, just play Historic. Just play Draft, play Cube, CGB, play Standard Shakeup. And a lot of you guys don't have to do what I do. What I do is I notice views. And the views for Historic are about 40 to 50% lower than the views for Standard. And the views for things like Draft and Shakeup are much worse than that. Standard is still the most played format by a mile for MTG Arena. And a lot of you come to me every day for some standard gameplay to mirror your experience on Arena, and what you play, most of you, not all of you, is best of one standard. So, while I may not be able to make a new deck that breaks the meta every single day using a new combination of cards in a small standard like we have right now, it's only a 5-set standard, we haven't had new cards in about 3 months. Those of you who think I should be able to do that, it's a hidden compliment. Thank you. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to play competitive decks that I do enjoy, and right now this current standard offers a lot of them. So while we're waiting for Kaldheim, if I have to revisit what I love about this YORION deck or that YORION deck or Rogues or Gruul Adventures or Mono Green Food, I like all of those decks, and I'll gladly revisit them and move a few cards around and see what works better. And I'm going to play them in Ranked and see how high we can get in Ranked, and you can join me on that journey and see what Mythic is like. You know, that's the value in the channel. I'm not saying that every day I'm going to build a new deck with some Mythic rare that nobody's played before that's going to break the meta. That's not what I do. But I will continue to strive to entertain you through it all, through the holiday season, into the icy cold new card realms of Kaldheim. So, on that note, here on the 11th out of 12th days of YORION, try to enjoy some mono white YORION and turn off that side of your brain for a moment. Also, a quick update on the collected company codes that we were giving away in a past video. If you missed it, sorry, it's done. My mods gave away all 1,200 codes. One of my mods got banned because Discord thought they were spamming. They had too many DMs in a 48-hour period. Over 1,000 people joined the Discord to get codes in one day. It was kind of insane. So there are 3 mods. They deserve a lot of credit. The mods who have been handing out codes. I know Right Justice, Mets, Holy, and oh God, if I forget one, I'm a horrible, horrible person. Disco Bisco, I don't think was working on them. I think he was out of town. But basically, mods. Yonder may have worked on it. But if I missed you, I'm sorry. But my mods. Kuntz joined in at the end. Kuntz, thank you very much. My mods are awesome. Holy MTG literally got banned giving out codes to you guys. So leave a thanks mods in the comments. They don't get enough love. And thank you guys very, very much. Now, after a wholesome moment and 9 minutes of ramble and bamble that some of you, for some reason, don't skip but still complain about, let's dive in and let the mono-white YORION nonsense begin. Behold, Emmy in the house, guard of the dojo. You're not missing nothing. They're just queuing up my hand. Look at the cute puppy. Okay. Yay. That is a good curve on the play. Complete with Legion Angel. Number 79 Mythic. Ask me anything. I'll answer if I feel like it. High rolling YouTuber. Don't have to answer questions I don't like. CGB, what's your favorite color? CGB, what's your favorite set? CGB, what's your favorite artist? CGB, what's your favorite deck? If you could play one deck for the rest of your life, what would you play? CGB, do you think a card will get banned? Silence all. I'm playing high-level Magic. Can't you see that? Glacier, Savior. I hope I get to ambush both next turn. That would make me very happy. So, for those who might want to know, like if you ever come to Twitch and try to ask me questions while I'm live, here's what will usually happen. If it's in the intro, if we're just like at the screen or it's just my face talking, I'll try to answer questions and interact with chat. I don't do that while I'm in the game. So it's because people ask me the same questions all day. Like, they just show up and they ask me what my favorite Magic set is. Like, every day. All day. So, while I'm playing a game, I don't answer those questions. So, if you join Twitch in the middle and ask me your burning question, for whatever reason, that's probably when I'm going to be like, ignore. And I don't answer them then. But I try to between games and at the beginning of each stream, I try to make time to just kind of banter with fans. Blocks. Now, the opponent can sacrifice one to save the other. Well, that's kind of sad. Mythic 466, everybody. That's just sad. I mean, I feel bad about that. Those dogs could have had a life, you know? Let's grab an angel. Let's bring the Legion to this battle. I pick on people who make like onboard mistakes, mostly because my audience does as well. This is kind of a shared thing in Magic. No matter what you do, it's going to happen. I think that the thing that I forget and we forget is that Magic is such a deep game. It can throw new situations at you every day, and no matter how much people say the meta is solved or stale, like we can still come up with all these things that surprise us. I think I actually block this because the ECD then gets the angel back later. And it makes them play a trick or something else this turn. Okay. Okay. The opponent is on a whole other level. I don't know what level it is. I don't know how the level works, but it's a different level. Now we're going to be scrapping in the air, angels versus angels. What a showdown. It's a showdown. Angel gets angel. I'm going to keep the tome lying around. I don't need to hit my next land drop that badly. That's a good draw. So do we play new angel? I think what we do is we draw and we giant killer this. And is there any reason to do it later? I don't think so. We can play the other side of the giant killer after all. Chopped out of the sky. And now, mono white, for your next trick. Could it be a Legion Angel? Legion Angel one time. Or, you know, 3 times. Oh, what's that? Is that YORION? Fetch. ECD again? Our angel's bigger. Do we really have to worry about it? I guess we might end up flickering the ECD, right? That's pretty strong. We have fought the Legion. The Legion has been dismantled. There is but one remaining, and they are a mere 4/3 for 4 that flies. We already have one of those. It's a 5/4. They cannot compare to us. Lurrus returns. Selfless Savior time. Ah. Okay, it's gotten to the point where I do way too many sound effects. I don't know, it's like singing along with your favorite song. MTG Arena. YORION! Everyone's favorite song. Flicka, flicka, flicka. or blink. Flicker is when it comes back right away. Blink is end of turn. For those of you trying to navigate the world of gaming terminology in Magic the Gathering, for those of you who need to be technically correct at all times. Goodbye, Luris. It's too bad you didn't have 1 mana to save Lurie there with the Alseid of Life's Bounty, but you had to get your free puppers. And I know I'd have to get my puppy back too. Isn't that right, Emmy? Isn't that right? Where's... Just get Emmy. Get Emmy in the corner. Hi! She asleep. Happy dog. But what better way to spend a rope, you know? What better way to let the opponent, while the opponent's figuring out what they want to do? Okay. We'll get back to it. Luris number 3. Well, it's going to get interesting now because they can protect it. But there's quite the Air Force. I don't know. Don't know if it's going to work out. Tap you. This way we can attack with the 1/1s, kind of. The opponent might have to use a dog. I don't know if I actually want to, now that I think about that. Let's try to scry into a solution, but maybe I'd have just been better off drawing a card. I blame Emmy. Distracted by cuteness, what can I say? Alright, let's get the opponent to use the Alseid, possibly during an attack, and then YORION everything again. Everything but the giant killer. If the opponent wants to, like, sacrifice the bounty to protect something, I don't know why they would, but they might. It's sort of like having a trap for them to walk into. Take it all. Respectable. Let's go ahead and scry it up. A casket? Absolutely. YORION! YORION. YORION. I hate it when they ruin the presentation, you know? So they sacrifice bounty, they protect Luris. They can get it back next turn, but it just occupies their mana. For example, if they want to get back the bounty and play the Legion Angel, the Luris is unprotected from the end of turn ECD. I has Angel is for me. They didn't... That's just messed up. I don't even feel right about this anymore. Oh, questionable plays by the opponent that have led them to this point in the game. The last of the Legion. It makes sense that we should have to battle the last of the Legion. Get exiled. Would you like to give it protection from white so I can tap it with Giant Killer? No? No? No. Nah. Nah. Using the little nymph it's just not gonna happen. Really? Really? You're gonna get roped again? Okay. Okay. Number 65. It's how you get to number 65. Another sweet curve, and for some reason Legion Angel is just showing up. Let's do it. Night, brother. Can't spell night correctly, by the way. Yep, this is definitely MTG Arena. Definitely mono red. I do love the matchup with mono red. I don't always win, but the matchup with mono red with this deck is so... It feels good. When you win, you torture. Guys, I think I can ambush with Omen, which is more mana efficient than a Glass Casket, which might need to hit an Annex anyway. Let's see what happens. Because if the opponent uses the Intimidator to make the wall unable to block... Nah? Alright, here they come. Here come the nerds. Everybody in it. Everybody on it. Because the opponent can pump it once. And they can give trample. They might remove one of the tokens, but that's fine. See how it took their whole turn to use all this mana to get through the 2 tokens and we still have our wall? Like, that is totally fine use of the turn. Radiant Fountain OP. You may as well concede now. What are you going to do against all that life? What are you going to do against all these angels? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You don't have a plan for that, mono red. Annex. Come at me, bro. Okay, are you going to turn my warrior into a coward? That's what I thought. So, we can app the Annex, we can casket. We actually have a lot of good stuff here. Maybe we just turn the tempo. Do they have a shock, I wonder? There's stick there. I'm gonna grab your Intimidator. They say nice. Let's see if there's still stick. There's still stick, so they probably have a shock. I guess I don't care that much. Good game. What, red, are you gonna run away? Oops. Yeah. I'm making huge mistakes left and right. Yeah, there is the shock, but we still have the wall. Like, that was the reason I'm like, I don't think I care. Yeah, turn that sucker sideways. Get it. Show everyone how good you are at Magic. Good job. Good job. Super powered. Got me down to 24. No better time to talk trash than when you have your opponent down to 24. You can leave. And now I'll hold this back, because if it goes to the graveyard, I can recycle it. Although I have an Apparition to recycle as well. It's going to be another Embercleave, possibly. That's kind of hype. That's alright. Keep absorbing. It does give me a little concern, since we don't have a good block now. But the Apparition's coming back, but that can't deal with this. Man, I do not want this mono-red player to beat me. Let's play the egg. Ah, there we go. That feels better. Embercleaved twice, down to 19. Oh yeah, keep the emotes coming. I'm enjoying it. I can do this all day. I play Bone Crusher Giant. He's a very, very big, strong creature. Who cares if a Skyclave Apparition's coming back to destroy it? Shall we throw in the oops, like a toxic gamer might? Interesting. Yeah, cry in the corner. Cry, you little baby. What else you got? Oh, gosh. Still sending the purple love. 7 lands, that's a lot. They didn't kick it. Okay. Hey, they just wanted the 3/3 so they could throw the Embercleave on it. Am I right? Am I right? There you go. Solemn, too slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's scry. Try to keep finding removal answers. Draw. YORION! That feels good. Now, dab on them, of course. And let's go for the ride, baby. The glass casket takes out the illusion token. I even exile their royal eruption, because why not? The only option when fighting mono red is complete domination. You can't let them even believe for a second that they're on your level. It's not respect. Alright, there is no respect here. This is arch enemies. This is just pure war. Goodbye. Until we meet again, Nemesis. It's a fine little hand. Against YORION, it has some draw and some ramp, and yeah, we can play it as Ugin, which is probably our most important card against YORION. Solemn is actually probably the second. That and ECD are probably the second between 2 and 3 most important. You got to get ahead of them on land. Then you got to take out their key threats. ECD is something they have to deal with because it gets stuff back. So yeah, this hand is great. We'll see if it ends great. We'll keep the giant killer. I'm not trying to rush them down with a 1-2. I'll have to kill a YORION at some point. Swamp and Island. Dimir or Esper? That's the question. No! You monster. Well, we can hope they take Ugin out of respect and fear. Don't take the Solemn, though. Solemn is important. I need the value. Golden egg, huh? All right. They must have another agonizing remorse. Or they just have a weird idea of what's important. Right. Probably gets countered. It's an awesome draw, but it probably does not get countered. What? What? Settle in. This is gonna take a while. When a Dimir YORION deck plays Agonizing Remorse, that is a deck that wants to win long games. That is not a deck that cares about mono red or mono white. Which is why I'm always surprised to see it in best of 1. But that means they are built for this battle. It's going to be rough. Yeah, this is a Crawling Barrens. You have one too. Granted. Definitely a greedy Dimir YORION deck. We're in big trouble. This is going to be very hard. Duress. I am confused. Hit the land. I want to keep this on the board and use it to draw, because this is going to be all about card advantage here. And we got our ramp on. Life is good. But what are they up to? They're surely crafting some kind of a nasty... Oh my god, and they didn't duress us first. What a frickin' maniac. We are playing against maniacs today, you guys. Absolute crazies. Yeah, nice, I know. You probably should have checked for that. I might be able to find land other ways. It's possible I'm not supposed to play this, but what the heck. They might duress it anyway. Although I think that's reserved for Ugin. Field of Ruin. They're ready for Crawling Barrens too. Like, this is the ultimate anti-control deck. Anti-control control deck. That's what it is. If we can beat this one, well, we are true Gandalf. 1/4 coming down. Buys YORION. Doesn't cast Duress. What are you on? My turn. I would love to get the Solemn in the graveyard somehow. It's clear the opponent's aware they're not going to block this. We should Skyclave Apparition their Omen of the Sea, and we should buy our own YORION, I think. This makes their YORION much worse. Now, the problem with buying the YORION is what if they have another Agonizing Remorse? So, it's probably better not to be honest. If I attack, I get free damage. They won't attack because of the Skyclave coming back from the ECD. Not free damage if they block with the Fae, of course, but it is what it is. They're so ahead on cards, but we have a Tome. If the Tome gets to stick, and they don't have good ways to remove it in these colors, then that's 4 more cards. So we're about even on cards. Our boards are about even. Our land counts are close to even. It's going to be a game. Okay, they can't Duress unless they have an untapped land, which means we get to Ugin. Because they're under ECD tax. They also don't want to Duress the Ugin because it comes back from ECD. So that's another reason not to make that play. Draw. Land. Draw. Another ECD. Wow. This one expires. Do you think they run Negate? Let's hope not. Just the way they played, they never held up mana for counter spells. Convinced me that we didn't have anything to worry about there. Get rid of your Nightmare. So the opponent, if they have a Bloodchief's Thirst, they get to kill the Ugin, but then we play an ECD, which they get to Duress if they finally crack that sucker. Do we attack? Because I'm not worried, like, letting the opponent attack my Ugin is fine. They might block here to draw an extra card. So I think we don't attack. Opponent thinking about using Fae of Wishes here. Discard 2 cards, get back Granted. They might need a solution for the Ugin. So they might need to read their sideboard to figure out if they can, and if they should do this. Shadow's Verdict and what? Polychronos. Oh, they got a forest. When did that happen? Sorry, just thought it was another swamp. Top tier commentary. 4 cards in graveyard, a long way from bringing this back. Yeah, okay. Are you going to add a blue mana to that mana pool, or what? They just tried to cast Granted without, without spending blue. They thought the forest was an island. Oh, goodness. Magic players. What's better? What's better than Magic the Gathering? The content you get from Magic players. Eat to Extinction. Okay. They can't Duress this turn. We get to play ECD, but the Ugin gets exiled.
I learned much today.
We're going to YORION soon, so let's scry. Try to find something good. Don't need another one of those. Good scry. Good bottom. Ooh. Well then. Hopefully they Duress me again. Would be even funnier. Again, because of Agonizing Remorse, we don't buy the Yorion here. We'll just draw another card at some point. But right now, if they duress me, they're forced to hit the Ugin, which means we get it for free with the ECD. So, the fact that they have green complicates things, though. They might be able to find a return to nature, something to destroy this. Just something to keep in mind. Okay. 6 cards in graveyard, by the way. This takes escape. How many? 6. All right. They can bring out Polukranos, but cost them 6 mana. Duress me. I dare you. I double dare you. I double dog dare you. Faye. Okay. Free Ugin. In a minute. Another Yorion. Oh no. Now what? I think we play the Yorion. We can leave this one safely in exile. Do we blink the ECD though and keep them taxed? Yeah, because we can buy it later and blink it again. Ooh, do we do this now? No. We want to be able to use the tome. Yorion! More planes. And we keep drawing with tome. And the opponent is taxed. So what are your sweet, sweet spells? If they bring back Polukranos, we can giant kill it in response to a fight. Oh ho ho! We're going into the sideboard again. We discarded Shadow's Verdict and Yorion. At 6 mana if you want to cast it. You can't do anything else this turn. They're going for it. They're going for it. What you got? What are you gonna fetch? I mean, your own Ugin? I guess that gets rid of ECD and Yorion. Yep. But it's gonna cost 10 mana. That's a bad plan. Let's get aggressive. Let's just try to kill him in the meantime. So, remember, second ECD tax. 10 mana for that Ugin. Oh, we drew the casket. That's a perfect draw. Not usually what you want in these mirrors, but now they can't even defend themselves. Can't absorb any damage here. Do you think they realized it? I think they did. I think it was also even if they could cast the Ugin and sweep the board, they would die to Crawling Barrens. Boom. Mono red is back for vengeance, and our hand is terrible against mono red, so let's take a mulligan. And keep this one. It's the emoting mono redding gamer. Do we keep a golden egg? Do we keep 2 ECDs on the draw against mono red? 1 should be enough. Uh-oh, their start's better than their last one. Whatever shall we do? Their start is infinitely better than their last one. Last time they were off to a really slow start. Give me that robber. We'll make you keep hitting land drops to deal damage. Usually not a problem for mono red on the play. They curve out every game no matter what happens. This is just known. Anybody can tell you this is true. I think that buying the Yorion would be nice, but it's too slow and we need to draw another answer. Because if our play is solemn next turn, we just lose. Are you actually missing a land drop? I've never seen mono red do that on the play before. Down to 8. Next turn, Embercleave, so draw a removal spell or die. It's not a removal spell, so I guess we die. It's possible they don't have it, so in that case the best play is the Solemn into the Elspeth Conquers Death, but when they're already throwing the good game, good, that's nice. That's a feels good. That's a feels good. I'm not even giving them the satisfaction. Burn in hell. Oh! Not even 69? What are we up against? Lucky Dog Sheko. That's a mono red name if ever I've heard one. So the Lantern's probably not good. And the Ugin, but I'm going to try it anyway. Feeling frisky. Feeling frisky today. Just play this right away so we can draw a card with it next turn. Oh! Oh! Are we actually in a matchup where this is good? Is this Rakdos? That'd be crazy. Alright. That would be nuts. Let's hang on to this for a minute. Might turn out handy. Nothing happening. Bonecrusher Giant probably in hand. Timret calling the dead. Okay then. Ox of Agonis. Okay then. Good play by them to exile it knowing about the Lantern. You make tokens, I make tokens. This is for Kroxa. Let's save it. Another Ox. Well, if you keep exiling the cards from your own graveyard, I won't need to use my Lantern. Haha. Elspeth's Nightmare. That's an annoying one. That is an annoying one. I got omens on my omens. I got no problems here. You want to save it? With a shock? That would be fine. Alright, Birth of Meletis into Skyclave Apparition on the Nightmare to protect the Ugin. Yorion next turn. Solid stuff. They'll probably kill the Skyclave Apparition with a Bonecrusher Giant. Just a vibe. Just what I'm used to happening against Rakdos. Opponent with a quick scry to the bottom there. There's the Giant. Here's your 3/3. Fortunately, we'll have a bunch of tokens to do some blocking for us. The opponent doesn't play Bonecrusher Giant. So I can expect this Yorion to die. So be it. Yorion! Free Lantern action, baby. Wow. Instead of put a 4/3 on the battlefield, you decided I'm going to cycle a land. That's somebody who's afraid of a board wipe that I don't even play. You love it. We exile the Timret Calls the Dead there because of another Timret Calls the Dead could exile it to make a zombie because it's an enchantment. Rude. I was going to use that. I had plans, man. Three attacks. Wow, I wonder if that's a Bonecrusher Giant. Have a wall. Meet the wall. You got me. Sad robot. Excellent. Let's get the tome on the field. Let's go get another plains. Just stockpile this mana. Show the opponent the meaning of pain. I'll give up a token to slap them around a bit. Just to make you reconsider who the aggressor in this matchup is. Alright, Yorion down. Wow. You went to 10 for that, huh? 1, 2, 3 blockers for 5 ground attackers. Probably not attacking this time. Let's draw some cards. We could Yorion again right now, but I think if we wait and draw some cards first, it'll work out. That is a card. That is a heck of a card. So do they play Agonizing Remorse? They play Pelaka Predation. So let's not buy the Yorion just yet. We can have a little standoff. We can win those games too. Opponent scries to the top. We might make them shuffle with the Field of Ruin because of that. I'd rather have a 1/1 though, I think. Don't think I'm afraid of the top of their deck. Maybe I should be. Whoa. Whoa! Dude. Dude. Let's see if they want to throw a removal spell on this to keep their giant. I would gladly take it, trading for these tokens. No, that's just a dead giant. That's all that is. I'm trying to decide if I want them to shuffle, because I know I want to play this next turn. Alright, I don't think the 1/1 token's going to matter too much. Let's make them shuffle. They kept something on top for a reason. It must be pretty good, because they're not in a great spot. My creatures have become indestructible. Smashinged. Alright. Got him. The standoff continues. Would you like to attack me this turn? No? Weird. Draw. Draw. Casket. Get rid of the 3/3. Casket. Get rid of the 2/2. It's just you and your giant now. And the clock is ticking. Not a Croxa. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. All right. Yorion. Who wants to go? I choose you. And you. And you. Everyone into the exile zone. Ah. The Book of the Brain is just shows up, man. And that's that. Just grind them to dust. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and as a holiday Christmas present to the internet, both of my dogs are with me. Lily and Emmy in the dojo, in the shot. Doesn't happen every day. Lily is 8 years old. Emmy, of course, now 10 weeks. Aww. They love each other so much, don't they, Lily? Lily's 8. She's like, I'm over this puppy stuff. But Emmy's like, I love you so much. Please be my friend. Anyway, if you stayed till the end, you're probably at least somewhat a fan of my personality and don't mind seeing my dogs. So if there are any anti-doggy comments, just ask them, why are you watching the whole video? This is just the part at the end. All that happens now is I tell you that the deck is really cool. Anyway, the deck is really cool. I love it. I'd play it 10 out of 10. Would play again. Big surprise. It's a YORION deck with a bunch of cards I love. Should you compete with it? You're going to lose matchups where the opponents play counter spells and they know how to use them very well, and they also have a lot of other card advantage. Those are going to be tough. You probably will lose those in very long, painful fashion. I wouldn't want to play this against like Doom Foretold very much either. But the deck has game, especially the amount of lands that do stuff, like Castle Ardenvale, Crawling Barrens, and Emiria's Call. That gets you a lot of pressure, a lot of creature pressure out of your mana base, which is pretty unique in Magic. And I like it a lot. The Rogues matchup is pretty tough. We don't have any escape cards. The graveyard is the graveyard. Pretty much have to draw the Glass Caskets, Skyclave Apparitions. So I think the biggest reason not to play this deck is the matchup against Rogues is inconsistent at best and not very good. But I enjoy the matchup with Mono Red, even when they emote me and they burn me down on the play. I see you out there. It's actually still a pretty good matchup most of the time, and at least it's a good slugfest. Other YORION decks are an interesting matchup. Mono Green Food is a really fun matchup with this deck. Gruul Adventure can be tough, but similar to the Mono Red matchup if you have a nice curve, and the Giant Killers are a lot better there than in any other matchup, so that matchup is okay. So it's a very playable deck. I think you can ladder with it. I think you can get into Platinum or Diamond, and you can probably get all the way to Mythic if you have some time on your hands, because it does lend itself to long games, and I think you should run it. I don't know if my stats are working. For some reason, this app now, when I click it, nothing happens, but I think I've lost like 2 or 3 games on ladder, and I know I've won somewhere in the double digits. So I'm not advertising a win rate, I'm just letting you know. I believe in this deck, and I think you can play it to great effect if you have the cards and the gumption. On that note, one more shout out here to the mods, and prepare yourself, for the 12th day of YORION is approaching. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.